Go ahead and call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Committee Member Luna,
Present.
Committee Member Joyce,
Present.
Committee Member Stimmel. For the record, Devaney is absent, Committee Member Blackburn,
Present.
and Committee Member Sanchez.
Present. Before we begin, let's go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask Mayor Blackburn to please lead us.
Please join me in the pledge to our flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you. All right, we begin with comments from the audience regarding items not on the agenda. Do we have any requests to speak?
We do not.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and skip that. We're now on item number 3, which is approval of minutes from March 18th. Did everyone get a copy of those minutes? All right.
I move approval.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second. Okay, there's a motion and a second. Please vote. And we vote by, raise your hands. Oh. Oh,
Not
yes.
the lock.
All right.
Or no.
Is that so that to avoid anybody trying to change their mind? Final answer, it's 5-0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-0. All right, thank you.
501.
Right. We have one person absent, Ms. Devaney. Okay, so next is new business. And it has to do with the meeting schedule. And I'd like to preface that, had a chance to speak with Ms. Smith prior to this meeting starting, and it feels like we're having less of a need to meet more often. We usually meet, we had been meeting quarterly before, and it was to try to get ahead of getting funding and also to address issues having to do with the Buena Vista Lagoon. Cattails. So close. So as to new business, this has to do with the Buena Vista, with the meeting time and date, time, and locations options. And we have Nick, who's going to be addressing this. Basically, that's kind of like what we were talking about, is maybe meeting quarterly, and then if there's a need for us to act, then we can call for a special meeting. And that way, if we need to act because there's funding that we need to review, which would be a very happy event for us to get together more often. So, Mr. Stupid?
Thank you,
Sorry,
Mayor Sanchez.
you're right here.
Appreciate it very much and the good introduction to the topic. So in front of you, according to the agenda, we have 3 options laid out for possibilities for new meeting times and locations. I'll start from the bottom up as you started with the option for a quarterly meeting. That really is with the intent to make it a more action-packed meeting, more information to provide for those updates and action out of those meetings. Additional options include Thursday meetings, as Mayor Blackburn suggested before. There is a conflict with Oceanside, and that is why if we go forward with the meetings on Thursdays from 9 to 10 a.m., shaving a little bit of time off the anticipation of the duration of the meeting, those meetings would solely be held in Carlsbad due to the conflict within Oceanside. And the other option would be Mondays, every third Monday from 1 to 2 p.m., and the alternating locations would remain. So I'd like to turn it back to the committee to discuss.
Thank you, Mayor.
Personally, I like getting meetings done first thing in the morning, whenever possible. When we have meetings from 1 to 2, it kind of clogs up the whole day. You can't get a whole lot done in the morning with the anticipation of a 1 o'clock meeting. And by the time you're finished at 2, most of your day's over.
Right. Well, we could meet it earlier on that day, except that we have a a member who actually doesn't get out till 3:30, 3 o'clock.
When you say doesn't get out, so we're
He
talking about
works.
the third Thursday at 9 wouldn't work for one of the members?
Why don't, instead of me
Apologize.
speaking for you,
I
Joyce.
can make Thursdays work. Thursdays I'm not teaching, so Thursday mornings are fine.
Okay, that's my motion.
okay, so Thursday mornings, but to alternate instead of having him at City of Carlsbad? Because I think we should be more fair and alternate, since we also have to think about our public.
So one item that came up was we discussed things with the City of Oceanside's staff, is that on Thursdays, Oceanside has the farmer's market in the morning and the farmer's market in the afternoon. And the direction we received from staff was that with that conflict, typically Oceanside does not hold commission or committee meetings on that day. But I would not claim to speak for Oceanside, so.
Right, well, I mean, we do have meetings. We have had meetings on Thursday, so,
It's quarterly too. It'd be two times a year. That's, should be fine.
And that would be the second part then. Are we discussing switching to quarters?
yes.
Okay.
Oh, let's vote on that, on the quarterlies. Let's cut these up, so that way we'll hopefully get through this motion quickly. So the motion on the floor is to meet quarterly, and there was a second by? Okay. Motion second to vote quarterly, to meet quarterly.
Well, before we vote, my comment was more toward the hours, not necessarily for the.
Right, we'll split that up.
Oh, did somebody else already make the motion for quarterly?
No.
I did,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's just go through the quarterly, and then we'll go through
Okay.
the day, and then the,
So let's
Time, I
discuss the
think.
quarterly. I'm sorry, I didn't hear anybody make the motion based on whether it should
Okay.
be quarterly. So do we have enough business to do these quarterly, or are we just going through the motions? Or should we do it every 6 months? And then more often, I thought I heard you say more often if we have something to put on the agenda.
I actually think it's best to meet quarterly, because we will have enough information. I believe that there's enough information for us to actually meet quarterly to, through this project.
Okay. And then there's nothing that says if there's only one item, rather than us all meet for one item, that we can't cancel that meeting and just take that item the following quarter?
If it's not a timely matter.
Okay, got it.
There's a motion to meet quarterly, and a second, please vote.
I had a question.
Oh, yes.
So if we were to do it quarterly, I just want to try to wrap it up could we do it quarterly then from 9 to 10 p.m., 2 times at Carlsbad and 2 times at Oceanside?
I think there's more discussion on the times and dates.
Okay, so we're just talking quarterly.
Yeah, let's just get quarterly out of the
Okay.
way, and then,
You have to do that.
okay. So in terms of the date now, the day of the week, I should say. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are off, correct? Okay.
Where are your farmers markets being held? Is that going to create a traffic problem getting to and from City Hall?
It's the parking, I think, that they're really addressing. There's no other reason why we wouldn't be able to have a meeting, and I can certainly check with the city manager. He might override that decision, because we have met at City Hall.
Do people park in the City Hall structure for the market?
Let's just say that I've had several meetings during the day on a Thursday, and there's never been anyone say, well, we shouldn't have meetings at City Hall because of the farmer's market.
Okay, you know the city better than I do. I just don't want to get there and then drive aimlessly for a half an hour looking for a parking
Right.
spot.
We can always reserve seats. Yes.
Actually, Mayor Sanchez, we had NCTD's meeting last week, and it was problematic. There was no parking for us. NCTD staff suggested moving a couple blocks. They're going to reserve a parking lot for us, and then I think Councilmember Robinson said, well, I can check, and if our council members aren't coming, then the directors could just use the council
Right.
member slots. But it took about over 20 minutes, and it ended up you're stalking people trying to pull out of their spots. So
Right.
it was, respecting, I didn't want to park in the public parking, the employee parking, but if maybe parking spots were reserved for us, then it wouldn't be problematic.
Right, and I have done that. I've reserved spaces, up to 10, actually, on a Thursday during the day. Yeah, no, we have somebody else stand out there. So why don't we say Thursday? Friday is problematic, unfortunately, because half staff. And Wednesday actually is a day that we might have a council, well, let's see, it would be which Wednesday of the month? We don't have that as an option.
Yeah, Wednesday was not an option.
So it would be like a third Wednesday of the month. I mean, Thursday, sorry, Thursday of the month. At 9. Okay, let's vote on the time. We definitely have the time, 9 to 10 a.m.? Yes? Okay. So let's vote on 9 o'clock, and there is a second to that, right? Yes. Mayor Blackburn, would you second that motion?
Oh, I thought I made the motion. I'm sorry. I'll second it then.
Okay, great. Then you'll first it and I'll second it. How's that? So that's unanimous vote. Now, the last one is a day. So it's the 3rd, and it's either Wednesday or Thursday, sounds like. So I do wish I had known that before coming. I would have checked, but
So the times that we did propose were vetted with Oceanside in terms of availability for council chambers and, any other conflicts. That's why we did not have Wednesday on here, because Oceanside presented a conflict
for Wednesdays?
for Wednesdays.
Other than the market, and you said you'd save spots, it sounds like Thursday works for everybody.
Except that it would only be in Carlsbad, and I'd like to make sure that our citizens also are able to come to a meeting nearby.
Wait, if I can interject, I believe you resolved that. You made the statement that you could reserve spots. That seems to be,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
try it.
Got it. Okay, so it will be, Thursday, and it'll alternate, and we will reserve spots. How's that? And if you could just let me know how many spots, and we'll reserve them. So,
I'll second.
okay, motion is second.
Before we vote on, it
Yes.
says third Thursday of the month. It doesn't say quarterly. So this will be the
We-
third Thursday of every third month.
Yep.
Got it.
And I just realized that I do have a conflict on the Thursdays. Just realized, sorry, after all that. And we said Wednesday was not available for Oceanside, right?
Wouldn't hit too much traffic if we did it on a Saturday.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to ever make it on the third Thursday. So we do have the time, we do have the quarterly.
Is there another Thursday that would work?
Yeah, another Thursday would be terrific.
Like the second Thursday, or?
How about the 4th?
give us one moment, we'll.
The 4th Thursday? airport authority for me, and it's a 4-year commit, so got 2 more years.
No matter what day you come up with, I'm going to say I have a conflict.
Do you have a conflict on Thursday? Oh,
No, I said, no matter what you come up with, I'm going to say I have a conflict. No, I can work around it.
how about 4th Thursday?
And then since we have both mayors here, they can just tell everybody that's when you were having the
That's
meeting.
correct. We
And
need
clear-
to
You guys have a little.
execute our executive
Yeah, executive
privileges
power,
here.
yeah.
4th Thursday. Is that okay? All right. So who would like to make that motion?
That's my motion.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, motion and second, please vote. This is probably going to be the longest item.
Action-packed.
Yes, drama. No. All right, it's unanimous. Thank you. Now we have old business, item number 5. And we have, oh, is Natalie here? Natalie's not here. Okay, we're going to skip that to see if she comes in. We'll go back, we'll go up to B, and then after that C, and after that possibly D. So, and on B and C, we have Kim Smith from Sandag. Yes. With some good information.
Is this what I push, or is it's already on? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So for old business, my first update is going to be on our technical studies performed to date, or actually what activities we are doing on the 2 state-awarded grants. If you can remember, we were granted about a little over $4 million to move the project through design. That grant award gets us through the technical studies, 30% design, and unfortunately, it's just short in getting us through 65%. So I think by the end of the grant period, we should have a technical memorandum with some of the 65% design activities completed, but we still need additional grant funding to move the project forward through to complete 65% design, final engineering and permitting. So on the existing grant, our consultant and our team are working very hard. We're currently performing all the analyses, so both fluvial and tidal, working on the water quality, our coastal analysis, so our SAP, which is our sediment analysis plan, that is going to be submitted to the Corps. So we're currently working on that. Our structural analysis, so this includes we're going to be replacing, as part of this project, the overcrossing on Carlsbad Boulevard Bridge over the lagoon. So we've been fortunate to be working with both of your cities, with your folks on information on what are some of the technical aspects to move that design forward. This all ties into our 30% design plans that should be finished. We're on schedule to finish them this fall. And then we'll be wrapping up, moving forward with moving into 65% design plans. And our grants, both grants, are due to be wrapped up in the beginning of 2025. In addition, we've also brought on our legal team. They're looking at helping us draft a draft master agreement. So that agreement is with all the affected property owners, and it kind of lays out how we would move forward into construction, what we're looking at, different easements. So we just brought our legal consultant on, and we hope to start engaging those property owners in the fall. So that's all I have for item number B. If anybody has any questions on our existing grant activities, I'd be happy to answer them.
Do we know how much the
Member Joyce.
shortfall is?
It's about $3 million.
Okay.
Any other questions? Do we have any questions from the public? Do we have any requests to speak from the
We
public?
have no request to speak.
Thank you. All right, let's go on to B.
Okay,
C.
I'll move on to item number C, which is a report out of our ad hoc funding committee. We have not had a meeting to date, but Sandag does keep moving forward with trying to secure funding to complete the design, engineering, and permitting for the project. We're actively working with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife to apply for additional Prop 1 funding. So we've got a draft application we hope to submit within this, with either the end of this month, beginning of June. And then the good news is our government affairs folks over at Sandag, they're working really hard with Congressman Levin's office. So the congressman has been taking an interest in the Buena Vista Lagoon, working very hard to come up with a federal earmark for that gap funding as well.
Thank you very much. Any
Thank you.
questions? Any requests to speak from the public?
No request to speak.
Thank you. So no other questions. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Ms. Smith. As to item number D, do we know if there was an ad hoc committee meeting before, in between? I don't think there was. Oh,
We have Gabriel Penaflor here to speak for
oh,
that.
okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Good afternoon, committee. My name is Gabriel Penaflor. I'm a reserve manager for the Buena Vista Lagoon, and I work for the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. Due to the Ridgeway rails nesting season, which typically goes from March to September, there has been no new cattail removal in Buena Vista Lagoon. However, we are happy that we did conduct interviews for 2 scientific aid positions, because currently I'm rolling solo in my managerial pursuits in the reserves that I manage. So hopefully within the next month, we'll be able to get those 2 staff members or those 2 seasonal helpers on staff. And then once the nesting season does conclude in September, I'll have 2 more pairs of hands to help me remove cattails. So that is the update as it is currently. Any questions?
Any questions? Do we have any questions from the public?
We have nothing from the public.
Okay. Thank you. And there was not well, you wouldn't, I guess you wouldn't know. Was there a meeting for the ad hoc committee?
I'm not aware of a meeting. No, I wasn't.
I don't think
wasn't
you would
aware.
be.
Yeah.
All right. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And the fact that we haven't had the ad hoc committees meet in a while, it seems like we created this to be able to get more on top of the situation, especially with respect to activities in the lagoon as well as the funding. So these are ad hoc. Ad hoc are supposed to dissolve more or less after a year. And while it's not on the agenda today, I'd like to get it on the agenda for next time, that we go ahead and formally dissolve these ad hoc committees and basically get the information through staff. Any discussion on that? Anyone wanting to discuss that? One less meeting for us to go to. But I think that, we never had these ad hoc committee meetings before, but we felt that things were of the essence because there were deadlines to meet. And so now it appears that we have staff really actively on the deadlines. And again, if we need to meet, we can do this as a whole and have a special meeting. So if this could be added to the next meeting, that would be under my comment, under 6, under, is that a 6? 6. So any other committee member wishing to make some comments at this time? Okay. Well, then, we are adjourning to, drumroll, have we figured out which date that would be?
Which was the
It's a
third?
quarterly
Can
last,
it be on the
last Thursday of the month at 9 o'clock. So that would be,
August 16th, 15th.
August,
August 22nd.
yes, it's August 22nd, 9 a.m.
At 1 o'clock. At 1? At 9.
9 a.m. What was that?
The test.
Okay. Wait a minute, Twilight Zone. What happened here? All right, thank you. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.